on Villa. Let's get into the action here. Take a look at the bans, and more importantly, take a look at who's going to be leading the series. Is it that quick 2-0 from Oxygen, or is Tempo going to bounce back?
Well, I'm excited to see it. It's been a while since we got some Siege action. It feels like the major was 2 years ago, but now we're finally at stage 2 and one map deep into our series here, John. So let's see what the bans are going to be on Villa. Getting rid of the Jackal early on as Oxygen. Can't blame him for that one. This is a map where you can abuse that roam game so damn well, and this is definitely a team that wants to get in your face.
Yeah, I mean, this is a map that has like an entire floor dedicated to Pulse players, really, if you try to take it the logic that far. Obviously, the basement, unused for objective play, but for roamers and notably Pulse players, it can be a real fun time down there. In fact, we started to see teams having to clear out basement to check for this sort of thing as of the last few months, so that may come up in this series as well. Getting through it, though, Thatcher, that's going to follow through from the previous map. Wamai, this is a very utility-heavy map when it comes to execute, so that helps to alleviate it for the attackers a little bit.
I can't blame anybody for banning Wamai. I mean, watching all of the series that we watched previously in the major and all of the siege that we've been having going up to this point, Wamai offers so much utility to the defense. It's just so difficult to get through. And once you do get through it, you don't have any utility to try and make your gunfights easier or to, cut off sight lines or really do whatever you want to do to try and actually have impact on the site players. All you've done is impact the utility they've previously set up, but they still have all of their secondary utility. So they can obviously just nitro sell you or, have their way with you in any way they see fit. So taking him off the board makes that a little bit easier. We're also going to, have a Goyo ban as well.
Goyo, another operator that can try to slow things down if positioned properly. I believe that was a tempo ban, if I was looking at it correctly there.
It so that should be.
I think it was, right? Because they're attackers. They get the last ban.
Right? I think defense gets first and last, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
okay.
You're making me question my siege knowledge.
I won't
right
go
now?
too deep on that, man. I'll just kind of move on. But
no,
I just won't finish the point.
Man, it's just no.
I mean, the point I was making is I think OXG were using him quite a bit, so it makes sense for Tempo to ban him. But yeah, I don't know who banned him, so I'm pretty sure it was Tempo that banned him. But we could.
I want to say it's the defense gets first and last, and then the offense gets 2 in the middle. So. But again, that's me. Yeah, that's me stretching the knowledge, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. But you're just making me question myself. So I'm overthinking it. I do believe. We have confirmation.
No, it was something else.
I was waiting.
I thought someone just.
Don't
told
worry,
me
Twitch chat's gonna yell at us in about 5 minutes anyway, so it's fine.
I have my, I still have my Discord pings on while we're doing this, so in case anyone from our production team needs to message me, I can still hear that.
Oh man! All right, well, defensive lineup for Oxygen looking spicy actually. No real true anchors. Everything 2 or 3 speed. Quite a bit of utility as well in the nitro cell department. Looks like we're gonna have a minefield here soon. And, well, Oxygen going right back to how Oxygen does things. We're going to have some early roam game here down low from vertical. Seems to be supported by Laxing as well. This is typically how we see a lot of teams try and handle this site as well. They really like the south to north clear. No one really favoring the master clear as much anymore when it comes to clearing the map, especially when it comes to kitchen, just because, the defense gets so much pressure from the south side of the map here. They've also gotten they've moved quite a few reinforcements across the map as well. This is something similar to how we saw G2 hold down Villa up against BDS a little while ago, where they were playing the living room and ended up holding down Red Stairs that way. We are going to have our first pick as well, which is going to be Foxe upstairs as he takes down creators.
Fox are going to continue to roam around here. You can already see one other target in his general view pane. Of course, he can't see that target yet, but well, the target will see him with this drone anyway, and that'll force him back. He's actually going to see some bullets, or some tracers, I should say, shining through the Astro window. Actually pretty surprised that it didn't end up hitting him 1 or 2 of those anyway, but he makes it out of that. This could be a nice nitro, but it is read by Mark as he swings away from that window as quickly as possible and avoids a sudden death.
And luckily enough, that shotgun's quite loud, so more than likely knew that the holes are being made underneath him. But Oxygen's doing such a good job of slowing down tempo right now. They've already gotten the pick, and they're slowly working themselves back to site. They haven't given up the dream of roaming right now, but might be needed here in the near future. Verticality now for Tempo Storm, but still not that pick, and that's exactly what they need right now. They need to equal man count so they can work towards this execute. This verticality is going to help them out a lot. It's going to make it to where Oxygen can't play around the site like they see fit, but there is still a nitro cell on the field that they have to worry about. It's just if Laxing's there to actually use it.
Pretty quiet round besides the kill of creators, which happened really early on, though. As time is starting to get a lot lower, 45 seconds remain. Tempo still trying to mess around, mainly with their sledge, to try and line up any top-down angles here. More importantly, just set up the important top-down angles. Bio is going to get caught by an air jab, but that doesn't really seem to matter much, as Vert is ripping apart the Tempo roster one by one. Picks up a series of 2 kills in the process of that. Now the remaining 2 trying to work their way in. A good find from Crazy, but we expect Crazy to perform well coming off the previous map. Dream is another player that we needs to step up here too, and he thankfully is going to be able to do just that. Takes out Bio / falls due to a readjustment from Crazy as well, and now Laxing trades it out, takes down Dream, leaves it all on to Crazy, but Crazy might just get it all done. One more player to take out. He's only got 5 seconds remaining though, and he's read the plot wrong. Vert still outside over by the Astro stairs, clutches the 1v1 and gives the first round to OXG.
Still some very scary stuff there for Oxygen, and that's the power of that AK-12. It is so dang good inside of these gunfights. Wins almost every single one of them there, got it down to the 1 versus 1. But overall, I'll say Tempo, very slow, methodical take, and Oxygen just ready for the fights whenever they came to them from almost every single angle. I really like what Oxygen did with the downstairs. They ended up dedicating some reinforcements inside of living room, putting some bandit batteries on them just to try and support that roam game, and then they put Foxay upstairs all by his lonesome, kind of making that, you know, defensive setup downstairs for the roamers a focal point for Tempo to focus on, and then Fox is there just with, you know, the cloak and dagger, just stab creators right in the side and dip. That's exactly what just happened, man. Hey, it works out for him, and that's the beauty of this map. There's so many different ways to roam here, and I think this is highly abusable by Oxygen, especially if Tempo isn't going to treat it the right way.
Good attempt from Crazy to start bring that up once again as well here. Good attempt from Crazy to try and bring that back. That AK-12 on the ace, just unfortunately not enough at the end of the day. It was being supported by Dream. Also got some impact into there too, but just not enough in order to win the round due to the issues that had been suffered because of the rotate upstairs and the overall shutting down of the upstairs push from Tempo that came with that. So Oxygen in a great position now to maintain their control. Already taking control of a downstairs site. It's now going to shift them over towards Trophy and Statuary, Aviation, and Games. The usual go-to site, or at least historically the usual go-to site for a lot of teams. Still left unplayed at this point.
Okay, well, do you believe we are going to Stat? And yes, we are. Stat and Trophy. Well, we'll have to see how Tempo wants to handle this one. Last time we saw that south to north clear. Could be seen for the master take, but the struggling thing with that master take is that you don't really get too much map control when it really comes down to it. Obviously, you have to worry about kitchen, but you're centralized around a certain area, and you would more than likely have to worry about other people doing stuff like that, but they're already on top of it. And Fox, right when he punches the door, gets his head taken off for him. So Tempo Storm now well aware of what's going on if they weren't before.
Just not Foxay's round, I guess. So he's going to get denied pretty quickly upon trying to get aggressive. Heads up play from Tempo there too, especially if that was pre-intel'd and it wasn't just a happenstance kill. But either way, Tempo is now going to line themselves up. Already starting to get, at minimum, some drone intel in from the window that leads down to those back basement stairs that go around to the pantry stairs, that is. Sure if they're going to actually commit anyone yet. It would be smart not to, considering Laxing's position, but more than likely he got found out there. He's actually going to take some fire on the way back, too. Somehow is alive as well, at like 1 HP there.
Just enter the Matrix? Like, what just happened?
I don't know how this... He got really lucky with the bullets.
There's literally a drone in his foot, man. Like...
Yeah.
I was just...
I don't know how he got out of there.
So unfortunate. Laxton gets away with his life, and that means that he still has a nitro cell as well that he could possibly use. They have kitchen control now, and Laxton scampered off to the basement to lick his wounds, but no matter what he does, he's not going to be getting his health back. Tempo now with a healthy amount of map control. I really thought they would end up killing him just based off of having Mark over on the west side of the map near the mudroom window. I thought he'd eventually just like hop in once they got the info and that he'd try and pressure China Door, but it never happened. And Laxton gets through, well, not exactly scot-free, but at least with his life.
Opens up an opportunity, especially if he gets a good angle to try and find a kill later on here. Vert with a chance to take out, I believe that was Crazy, but is not going to be able to execute upon it. Slash instead finds Mark elsewhere on the map. Vertical's position has been revealed, but it's still a pretty safe one as long as utility isn't used against him. More than anything, he's got to be careful of the window right now. Drone's going to spot him, panics a bit, tries to go for the hop over the banister, doesn't have the right angle to do it, so now goes back to his safe spot behind the boxes in the corner. They see it there. Laxing at the same time comes into the play and takes out his teammate. That's actually going to save Crazy's life as it allows him to quickly trade on Laxing, and now they can try to shut down Vert in a 2v1 situation, which will be done by Creators just there.
Some very ridiculous circumstances happen inside of this round. More smoke grenades go down from Slash as he's worked his way into Wolf. Seems that he wants to transfer to benches, though, as the Echo player's playing downstairs. Bio trying to play out his life, but he's going to get air jab. They definitely have the intel now that someone's playing down low. Litten up because his elbow's sticking out. Oh, no, Slash. Not playing those moments correctly there, and Creators actually ends up going downstairs and knifing the Echo. Knew exactly what was going on with that as they heard that air jab go off earlier. And gonna be a nice freebie kill. Hit him with the bag real quick and move along with your day. Tempo Storm with their very first round as they take down Stat.
Man, the biggest enemy of OXG on that one was like their feet more than anything else, judging from that last kill on the way
Oh
that
man,
Laxing
I had
died.
no idea what was going on with that. He just like proned and his feet just shot out.
Like, my question is, where was the call from Vert, I guess? Like that, Vert should have called that, I suppose, or I don't know if Laxing made the play himself without giving the intel to Vert, so maybe Vert didn't know Laxing was there. Something went wrong.
I don't even think it was
OXG,
that.
as he should have
really,
been aware of it.
you know? I don't even think it was that. I think he tried to prone to kill Creators coming up Astro. And then his feet just like shot out the top of the astronomy stairs.
Because it was just like an awkward angle.
Listen, man, it's Siege. Anything can happen. I don't know.
Yeah,
we were just on Brazilian servers like 20 minutes ago. I don't even know, man. Like, I don't know. So, but hey, I mean, like, more than likely what happened is he tried to prone up against the wall, and obviously, for games, that doesn't really allow you to, phase through a wall. So I probably just shot his legs right up the staircase, and just very unfortunate for him and for Oxygen overall. They had some really good plays coming down to the wire there, but just didn't work out for them. And most notably for Bio, right? You get air jabbed down low, and then you still choose to lay next to the room where you just got air jabbed. I'm not gonna say it's a bad play, but I will say, like, man, that is one of the loudest noises in all of Rainbow Six Siege. Somebody definitely heard that. You know what I mean? So it's coming down to, each team is making their plays, and inside of that round, Oxygen just wasn't ahead.
So that will take us into a 1-1 scoreline. We will also see Oxygen not try to repeat a victory on the same exact site. Instead, they've actually moved to living room. So again, still no aviation play at this point for Oxygen. And while traditionally that would be something we'd call out, it's actually become more and more of a common thing as of late. Teams starting to get a lot more comfortable with the downstairs sites. So it's happening more and more that we see teams expand beyond the usual kind of comfort picks for sites on this map.
It's a beautiful thing as well. Villa offers so much with how many different sites that they have, and honestly, I feel like Villa is one of our most competitive maps right now. It's been really, really fun to watch, and as I told you before, and as you know, I used to hate this map. I really did. But the color change, as well as just playing it a little bit more, is definitely, turned my eye to that. It's a really nice map, man, and with the amount of options like we were just talking about, especially living room, you can just always switch things up on the offense and give them a different look, and that's what I like so much about it. That's exactly what Oxygen's going to be abusing as well. Make it to where it's different. Just because you lose the site doesn't mean you have to go back to it. Try something else. See if you can get that to work first instead.
Raiders and Dream looking to try and work together here to isolate out the presence from Oxygen sitting on the inside of Aviation itself. We're going to move in there, take out the Malusi, or try to take out the Malusi, but I guess I went a little too far to the right, so those little mounds on the map probably ending up costing them the kill on Malusi's gadget.
Got caught in the, 1/16th version of Lake Minnetonka there. So ended up going down into the depths, never to be seen again. Now have full planes control, though, as it's going to be a wall bang for one. They take down the initial victim, but it's only a down as Dream now lighting up the scoreboard. Can he get two? He can't. Bio, what a spray transfer, my God. Making up for that last round. Can he go for three? He can't. Downtown shots with the SMG-11 working out for this man now, as he seems to be the site king. Still has a nitro cell in his pocket to be able to stop a plant if needed, but the damage has already been done. It's down to Crazy and Mark to try and claim this round, and they're still on the top floor. Yes, ladies and gents, this is still living room. They still have to worry about getting into the actual site, while Mark's inside of Classic Hall. He has 4 people to worry about. Doesn't even have a diffuser in hand.
Just the big swing here from Mark to try and find Laxing. Didn't assume that he would have been already back to the inside of Study, and as a result of that, gets dropped very, very quickly. As soon as Laxing hears the footsteps, just like that. So that's going to be a nice shutdown from OXG. Another round strategy where an off-site roam ends up really being the pivotal battle for the entire round itself. You'll remember that we had a round like that back over on our first map as well, when they were able to drag the fight away over into Drug. To be fair, their opponents did the same thing in the second half as well, but it's something that OXG seem to be thriving in right now.
And doing very, very, very good at it. And that's something that we've come to expect from Oxygen, you know, even in previous, lineups for their team or previous rosters. We always expected them to play that more aggressive style, in your face, get those picks, and then try and make you win the game in that way, right? Be man down, try and get your man, at least man back to equal. There's a lot of things that Oxygen does right, especially for their lineup. And I think that, especially going into this map now, Oxygen is proving that they can play quite a few operators on these different members and still do good with it. We just saw Bio pick up the mute. Now we're going back to a site that plays similar to Living Room, but obviously the reinforcements are going to be more centralized around upstairs. This time they're going to be bringing the smoke on Slash. So we're shifting these lines a lot here for Oxygen, and it's making it to where I feel like Tempo really doesn't know how to act. They don't know what they're walking into. They add one piece, take another piece away, but they keep something like Mozzie on the board to deal with drones. There's so many different things that Tempo has to worry about right now, and I feel like it might just be a touch overwhelming when hitting these certain sites, especially with how aggressive Oxygen are on these gunfights.
Slash did cancel the reinforcement on the right, and it looks like, yeah, that's actually going to get left soft in order to give the players either in gun vault or if they want to play directly against that wall, a little bit of an angle to play against, especially if hard breach is going to be used on the bar walls, because I believe both of those are reinforced. If I got a quick view of it there, so
yeah, nice little lineup there. That's so I believe it was the Sonics that I saw do this first, and they end up using it to prevent like thermite or any utility from going off on the bar wall, because as you know, that's usually where the plant goes down. So
you can usually, I'm pretty sure you can just spray through that and kill hard breach too. You don't even really have to commit utility to it. There's not a lot that you need. It's the only problem is that, like, if they do get access to multiple angles, that could turn around against you a little bit. But thankfully, it's right in the middle of the site, so you would hope the defenders would almost always have a position on that in the event that the attackers try to use it for their own advantage.
Absolutely. Well, north to south here, master take for Tempo Storm, have the air jab, so it's more of a set and forget instance here for the team. Oxygen ready for this take as well. You guys can see them shifting utility across and everything to be able to hold things down. Nice little setup here for Vertical on red stairs with that Banshee. He has to worry about one. Is he going to see him? He does. Oh, Dream asleep at the wheel, man. You got to wake up there. It could possibly be somebody on red stairs, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Vert's here, and he's already getting aggressive once again. They're not ready for these gunfights, and Vert is going to make them meet the maker. 3v5 already, and Tempo isn't even halfway through this hellhole. Mark finally, but it's more or less a participation trophy. Vert's already done his work. 6 kills already through 4 rounds.
Yeah, Vert already catching 2 players without them even noticing that he was swinging on them there. And in the first one, he didn't even really swing on them, just waited for the opportunity. Seems like Mark is the player that was finally ready to take that fight, though, and makes very swift work of taking out Vert. As you said, though, a 2-for-1 trade, though, doesn't really favor Tempo at the end of the day. They're still down a man as they inch closer and closer to the site.
You want to make this more crappy? I'll make it more crappy for you. Creators and Dream had most of their utility for burn. All that's left is 3 stuns and 2 smoke grenades, which the smoke grenades they probably wanted to use for an actual execute. But now that they're both dead, you don't have the burn like you'd used to before. And Oxygen, once again, just like they did on Theme Park, get to lay on the timer and wait. Tempo Storm have to make a change here, have to get the initial pick, have to do something. And that's the difficulty for them right now. They really don't have too much to stand on. They have 90 control. They do still have some hard breach, but Crazy is currently holding the top of main stairs from Study Balcony.
Mark also has 90 control. There is a potential wrinkle there. There was an air jab that he chose not to shoot. That may have been on purpose, though, so I don't want to judge that too much just yet. Jarvis is going to get isolated out there, as is Crazy, though. So it's all down to Mark now, just in the singular position. He's going to try to move himself forward. Like I said, he's going to have to try and catch this. I guess that air jab isn't there, or I'm just seeing it wrong, but either way. Oh, no, never mind. He's on attack. What am I thinking? That's my fault. Ignore that, folks. He's going to move himself forward here around the corner in the 1v4. Does take out one, but ultimately does get dropped there. So Oxygen, once again, maintaining solid control here on defense, and is going to be able to swing forward further and further into this matchup and closer to an ultimate victory in 2-0 fashion.
Yeah, the offensive unit for Tempo not working the best right now. And honestly, for the initial contact there that we had on red, just A very, very weird instance. It's very early game. You still have access to so many drones, and just a misplay there on red. That really should have never have happened. There's nothing there to prevent them from droning or, you know, using that or, you know, clearing that staircase correctly. The only thing that they had to worry about was a single ADS and a Banshee at the bottom of the staircase. But even if you hear those noises or see that utility, then you know somebody's going to be playing around that area. So it's just a very weird instance there for Tempo. And then to go as far as to let Vert then walk up the top of red and get yet another kill. I mean, it's stuff like that where Tempo's allowing people to do too much. You know what I mean? Like, you're allowing him to do way too much stuff just from that one area. He should never have been able to get away from red once that initial kill happened, and he still ends up bagging another kill. So
look, I mean, Vert's thriving into these conditions now. He's brought the Cav into play here for round 5.
He's punishing him, man. He's going to go downstairs. I'm sure we're going to see a nice flank here. He's got the impacts. That's a notable thing. He definitely needs those, especially since Tempo's been leaning on that Nomad for most of their flank watch. But again, what really has that been doing? We've never really seen a flank. It's Oxygen standing up boldly and saying, hey, we'll take a gunfight, and then they win it.
This is the map as well where, you know, historically speaking, we have seen the most impact from Caveira plays. As rare as they have been at this level, it's usually been, you know, if memory serves me correctly, on this map where we've had some more of the impactful Caveira plays be made. And that, again, goes back to what you were mentioning. She has the entire basement area to try and roam around on top of, like just look at this cutout view right now. How many different rooms and ways to cut things off there are. This is a Caveira's playground, really, when you look at it.
I completely agree with you. And as well as just being the most high risk, high reward operator in the game. Whenever she's on the lineup inside of a competitive match, it just makes it fun to watch. You want to see what that Cav's going to do. It doesn't matter who plays it. But this time around, we're going to get something special, obviously, with what you were talking about, vertical on that Cav. So see if he can possibly be successful on that roam. But for the rest of Oxygen, they're already set up and ready to go here. It seems to be more of an anchor setup this time around for them. They want to allow Vert some room to work, see if Tempo just drones things quickly and goes, oh, hey, nobody's roaming. Let's just try and go for a push. And then all of a sudden you have Vert there with one of the best pistols in the game.
Speaking of which, on that right now, waiting more so at the moment to try and pop a drone very quickly if it ends up working its way into his position. For creators and some of the other players here, very quick clear on the aviation and games area is going to be completed, having to take out some of the barricades and whatnot as well. But Vert right below this, so if his timing is correct, he could sneak up right behind this push from Tempo and make some pretty serious impact.
Oh, he is playing the long game, my friend. He has been inside of piano and art studio this entire game so far. And that's a minute and a half off the clock already. Tempo Storm making a valiant effort to jump into the top floor here from Benches and Wolf. Some diffuser as well, but this time we're getting lower and lower by the second. So a Valk Cam up in the corner, and that's going to get taken care of as well. Oh. Seems that Vert's now been activated. The sleeper cell himself.
He did walk by a drone and killed it, I think. So he does it to be a little careful here because someone may have caught that.
I'm trying to see when he's going to use these impacts, exactly where these air jabs are.
See in a moment here that he's pretty far behind the narrative, but thankfully, as long as Tempo don't catch on to him, that shouldn't matter too much here. He's more so just trying to watch out for his own stealth position than anything else. He does not want to be revealed here. He's very careful about making sure he doesn't walk by drones when the camera's on, but he just did it. He just got caught by Dream right there, so they know he's in play now, and they should start to look to try and find ways to counter him out.
That's a dangerous thing. He's now made his way into the bathroom upstairs, and I don't think that he knows that he's here. Oh my god, Vert, no! He botches the shots, he goes wide right, and Tempo Storm take down 2 instead of just the Cav upstairs. This is going to give them a time to try and get this diffuser down. Fox is going for the late rotation as well. He's going to have to go up pantry stairs, and he is the last member alive for OXG. And what seemed to be around where the possible rotation and flank from the Cav could have some sort of success, it is definitely not. After Tempo Storm sends 3 people into the pantry stairs after knowing exactly where he was going to come from, more than likely by a drone downstairs. So very successful round there by Tempo, and nice flank coverage really came down to it. Very unfortunate there from Vert.
Yeah, and like I said, like Vert was like we pretty much were focused on Vert that entire round. So let's talk about it a little bit more. Vert was hyper focused on making sure that he didn't get spotted by drones, that he was able to take them out very carefully. Every time he killed a drone, he waited like a good 10 to 20 seconds before he moved again, just in case someone came back to check that drone's position. And then at the end, he made the fatal mistake, ran by. I believe it might have been Mark himself that had the drone up. If not, I think it was Dream. That he ran past either without noticing or was just, kind of not worrying about at that point, and eventually runs into the duel versus Mark, who is ready for him and takes him down. So a lot of build up for nothing, wasted not much time either in terms of drawing players away from the situation. That was more credit to the other players in the team that were doing that. Just ultimately that combined with a very successful sight hit allowed for Tempo to take some solid control at the end of the day. Not much Fox they could have done either, especially against the 3-man stack at the top of the pantry stairs.
Yeah, I don't care how good you are. You're not winning that. That's
You might get a few of them, to be fair, because that's kind of a dangerous stack, but hey, it worked out there.
Yeah, your only saving grace is if they accidentally kill each other. That's really it.
Yeah.
That's really it. Well, for Oxygen now, we're headed back to the Statue Trophy. Not too much of a change up in the lineup. Are going to be bringing the Clash once again. Bio more than likely going to be worried about the Master area and playing the concrete side of that. Just trying to keep Master limited as much as possible. Have to see how Tempo wants to go about things this time around. Some good ADS places here for Oxygen, covering the usual areas that we see. Got one inside of Statuary. Do believe that we still have a couple to worry about. Yeah, we do. Laxing either moving that one or picking that one up. Seems that they're really worried about this split area and what they can possibly do with the astronomy window.
We'll follow that a little bit later on in the round itself and see what exactly Tempo are going to be able to use. This is Tempo's last attack here on this half, so if they were going to bring out anything, now is the time to do it. The Clash coming into the picture here for Bio once again too opens up quite a few opportunities to try and lock down specific choke points, but only really if that Clash can stay alive. It's very easy to potentially isolate out a specific angle and lock that Clash down if she has to play more aggressively. Either way though, time well on its way. At the first minute already having been used up here by Tempo. Very cautiously approaching the map. As you can see, there's 4 drones actively working their way around the first floor and the basement area, clearing things out to try and lock down where the roam presence from OXG is, since that's such a huge part of their game.
And doesn't seem to be anybody home this time around, all except for Laxing, currently standing on bus door. Very slow and steady here for Tempo Storm. Still working their way inside of Master, have plenty of utility still to clear with. Drone economy hasn't taken too hard of a hit as we're about halfway through. Fox now with a couple of Selma charges on his wall. We'll have to see how he goes about this. Electro Claw not working out for him. Ends up just shooting it off, it seems. Don't exactly know what happened with that, but it was there for a moment and then whoosh, gone with the wind. So seems that they wanted that open for a possible reason. Don't exactly know why. So for Tempo Storm now, they have the hard destruction done, just need to get some sight intel and see exactly what they can have an effect on. Still have plenty of utility in the pocket to be able to handle these shields or try and get rid of this Clash. They just need to burn through these ADSs, especially with that Clash on the board. That's something that you're going to want to do pretty early on here. Uh-oh, have a late rotation, but oh my, Vert gets burnt by Dream. Didn't see that one coming. They now have full Astro control, all except for the Clash, who's now getting stunned out. They can just walk her down though, but that could put them into a pretty bad situation. Creator's still worried about the flank. Foxay getting caught off. Full sprint downstairs as yet another wall has been opened up, but it's going to be utilized immediately by the smoke as more toxic babes pour in. Biologic's been down. All of Astro in the blue area taken over by the blue team. Creator's popping off. That's a triple for him on the round. It's all left up to Laxing now. And this one, make it a 5, make it a 4 instead, but it's an immediate refrag yet again by Creators. The Ash popping off, and that's a quad for him here on the last round of their offense.
A trademark Dream Clap coming in there as well, celebrating for Tempo, and there's a reason to celebrate too. Tying it up at 3-3 now as we move into the second half of the map, with Tempo currently leading in the momentum, in my opinion. That could all come crashing down, however, in the first round of the second half, so we don't want to rely on that too much. Either way, though, great stuff from Tempo. Really got a lock on the pacing, I think, in those last few rounds, and that was a huge part of why they were so successful. The roam game from OXG was being denied a lot more efficiently. Drone positions were constantly finding members of OXG, and on top of that, the pacing from Tempo was allowing them to catch and just kind of intuitively predict some of the pushes from OXG there, giving them plenty of opportunities to get ahead early on.
I completely agree with you. Tempo's offense, though methodical, was very well placed. I feel like the info game this time around in comparison to Theme Park was so much better, especially like when they attacked Kitchen and we saw them already knowing, obviously, where Foxy was rotating downstairs. That's because a drone is already down there. They're covering all of their bases. They're making sure that they know where the flanks are coming from. They're making sure they know where these members of Oxygen are going to. And even on the rounds where things were a little botched by Tempo on the offense in the info game, say the Cav round, things still seem to go their way. They have definitely a fighting chance here on Theme. This team is not bad at all.
All right, folks. Well, it seems like the rumors and the stats about the map bans were true for Tempo. Certainly putting up a very good fight against Oxygen right now on Villa. And keep in mind, this is Oxygen's map pick. They've already taken Tempos back over on Theme Park, and they have a 1-0 lead. And now Tempo's looking for revenge on Oxygen's own map pick. They may have a great opportunity to get it here, too, with a 3-3 scoreline going into the second half. But let's see how their defensive half is looking here. They're going to be starting out in the traditional site that we see a lot of teams go to with an Aviation Games hold.
And for a 3-3, the scoreboards are looking quite similar as well, all except for Tempo being ahead in the kills department. It seems that Oxygen's done a very good job of winning things mostly based off of utility and time. And hey, either way, it's still a round win and things still tied up 3-3. Again, kills are not everything, but we'll have to see how that fares for them on the offensive side. We might have to see some more aggressive plays coming out. First initial frag grenade use, and it's a confirm there for Bio as he takes out the Banshee on main stairs. Crater's not having nearly as much coverage as he once did. Does still have his shield with an ADS, though, as he's going to continue to hold on to this as long as he can.
Crater's constantly winning. Takes him a second to realize he was spotted out by a drone, and now having to get a bit more aggressive, was predicting someone going to try and push him from that position just behind the shield, especially after the study shield had been taken down there, but study push doesn't end up coming through here, so he's allowed the positioning he needs to fall back deeper either into 90 or the site and make it out of there alive for the time being. Laxing still starts things out well here, though. He's going to be able to take down Crazy and bring us back on the even terms in a 4v4.
Well, halfway through the round now, they're still getting rid of utility, and this is the beauty of the 2.0 system, folks. Evil Eye on ping, fantastic. I'll just get it from beneath and not have to worry about any of your ADSs. Isn't that so cool? There you go. So that's how they do it without having to burn any of those stun grenades or anything. So you can obviously see Laxing still having stuns, Slash still having his smokes. Fox is out, but it seemed that they mostly use that to clear out that main stairs area, which is a place that you can't abuse in the exact same way due to having no soft destruction. So defense for now, just lying in wait as they're still trying to get exactly what is going on with this Oxygen squad. Last breaching round used there for Fox to create more verticality, but doesn't seem to work out too well for him. Spraying through now, but they've already gotten the bar wall open. It seemed that Mark was a little late there on the mark.
Still trying to deny entry through the primary study door there. Smoke charge going to go off just at the edge of it. Very quiet right now here for OXG as well. I'm not really moving too much, not making too much noise and trying to isolate out members. The player at the back of bar might actually get caught out. They're not careful. It's this big swing they have to watch out for. Vert starts it out. And now, waiting around the corner, he is going to have the shotgun ready to go. Isn't ready to face that challenge, though. Jarvis takes him down. We go into a 3v3. That opening, though, allowed for Slash to move in, and now he trades. Jarvis takes him down. Dream comes right back into it, though. Brings us down to a 2v2, but Slash has got the diffuser on the ground. Now time starts ticking in the other direction, and Slash battles his way out of the box with a kill on Dream. It's all on Craters. He knows exactly, or generally speaking, where Slash should be. Gets some good damage onto him, too, but he has no clue where Laxing could be at this point, unless he has intel from earlier on in the round, as Laxing has only rotated through 90. Trying to push back in, needs to put the pressure on Slash soon, because if not, Laxing's going to have the angle, and he will shut down the round in favor of Oxygen as they inch closer and closer to a win.
Masterfully done there from Oxygen. Great post plan there. You can see that Lax told Slash to slow down a little bit behind the bar. He's like, hey, I got your cross, man. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. Steps up into the door, holds that cross, and ends up begging Oxygen around. Very good patience there from them on the offense as well, waiting for Tempo to make the mistake. And that's exactly what happened. Mark just openly steps into the door of the vault and gets his head taken off. And that's exactly what they needed to actually get some pressure onto the site. Granted, it was traded out there with that shotgun once Vertical got taken down by the mute, but I mean, hey, that was still the entry piece that they needed. Not having an Alda to worry about when you're attacking, oh man, that just makes your heart sing.
Yeah, even with the lost trades following that up, thankfully, like Slash was at the end of that trade trail, so OXG was still going to be in an advantageous position at the end of the day. Because even with the trade happening from the either the smoke or the mute that was holding the door right there, I think they knew that they were going to be able to have Slash push through the breach in the bar and pretty much get a confirmed kill or a confirmed trade onto him. So that was a pretty safe play, even with the loss of their other teammate right there.
There's so many things about that round that just went so right for both of these teams. It was very well played by both. I think that the thing for Oxygen, at least, that I would like to praise the most is that they've got things up to a point where things would get quite congested on site, and Tempo Storm wouldn't really like where they were setting, and then they just waited. They just stopped and waited. They got the pressure up to a point where Tempo's not going to feel comfortable, and they just waited for somebody to make a mistake. That was my favorite part about that entire round. They didn't feel rushed. They knew that they had the time on their side. They knew that they could execute when they wanted to. They just needed somebody to make a mistake. And again, beautifully done. Tempo Storm, great hold on the main stairs. There was so many things that went right there for them. Even going down into that last, little clutch scenario. I mean, it was still a 1v2. It was, not trending terribly into one way. So overall, great round by both teams.
Definitely the case. Now let's take a look and see if Oxygen can solidify that lead that they've just regained for themselves here at the beginning of the second half with another victory on a different site. Obviously, Tempo not feeling too confident in their ability to run that previous site back. They're going to move over to Kitchen instead and try to look for their first defensive win on this site.
Well,
Quite a few members of Oxygen already trying to lurk their way in here. Specifically, you've got Vert with Mudroom control. Living Room also going to be taken here as well. Not much resistance there from Tempo. A lot of that resistance happening more so towards like Astro to prevent runouts like this from Slash, which is why we see pretty much the immediate pre-fire from him when he does swing that, since it should be very obvious to the members of Tempo that they've now taken Living Room control.
yeah, very horizontal play here from Oxygen. They do still have one member that seems to be going to the master balcony right now. Oxygen seem to be stuck for the time being, but the beauty of this and what they're trying to do right now is it seems that a lot of the site utility that we'd regularly see, like ADSs, are placed upstairs. Tempo was ready for them to try and take this, but now that it seems to be more horizontal, this could be very, very difficult to hold down on site.
Halfway through the round now here. Quite a few members of OXG getting close to the hot zones here, but no one ready to actually take a risk on that just yet. Slash, along with Bio moving into position, they're Bio supporting Slash to make sure he can safely deploy the Selma onto the wall, and it is going to go through. Crazy, of course, trying to look to see if anyone else is looking to sneak up through the pantry stairs or is sitting outside of the window, getting ready to breach in. Not the case, though. It's only Slash and Bio making a play here. Other than that, the remaining attackers are looking to sort themselves elsewhere to find entries and, of course, get onto the site.
Oh, well, that's going to be the initial kill for the round, and all the way down at less than a minute, about 55 seconds there, Slash finally gets killed, but he's already done some hard destruction. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Jarvis, though, going to make things a touch more difficult as they rotate downstairs and end up catching somebody off guard. So far, this roam game from Tempo working out for them, and as well as the vertical play. Only playing Dream and Crazy on site seemed to be not the best idea initially when we saw how Oxygen was going to go about things, but right now it's looking so damn good. And even though the wall is open, all I have to worry about is the man inside a pantry, but they've already got the counterplay for that. Oh my god, Tempo all over the board in round 8. It is definitely theirs.
Tempo just with far too much control over both the site and even the extended room too. As you mentioned, a very horizontal clear coming in there for the folks on Oxygen, and the lack of upstairs clear, although we did try to see a little bit of it towards the very end of the round, just didn't lead itself to be enough, in my opinion, for them to get proper control over the site and eventually execute into it. So those individual skirmishes that were being taken by the 2 to 3 man groups from OXG, they're just getting shut down by Tempo. And once 1 or 2 of those falls, that's really the end of it.
Well, it seemed that they were getting ready for the execute. What Oxygen really wanted to do is they wanted to feint the top take, right? They utilized Ash to go over to the master balcony to keep everybody busy. All right, just let use some presents, throw some stun grenades, make it look flashy. Come on, man. When eventually Oxygen transitioned into actually going for the execute, let's get laundry control, let's open the wall, let's start transitioning and trying to get a diffuser down. They sent one of their members downstairs so that he could come up pantry stairs, and Tempo just nipped it right in the bud immediately. And that was the problem for Oxygen. They couldn't go for the execute how they wanted to because they didn't have that pantry control until much later, and obviously we saw Tempo deal with that once again. So Oxygen just didn't have every box checked that they needed to actually go for that push, and it took just a little bit too long. Very unfortunate for them, but plenty more rounds to go through.
Definitely the case, and is going to probably stay that way here if the scoreline stays this way as well. We are tied up once again at 4-4 to both teams. Oxygen, of course, looking to close this down here. Tempo looking to take us to a third and final map to decide the series. Let's see which way it's going to go here, with the lead being given to one of these two teams at this round. Another trophy statuary hold, this time from Tempo, of course, in the operator lineup, looking to delay quite a bit. Smoke on top of the Malusi, Kaid, and Echo will add quite a bit in the way of interruptions that Oxygen are going to have to deal with in the early, mid, and late rounds. So Oxygen have to keep their wits about them. More importantly, keep watch on utility since they don't have an IQ or to avoid disaster, especially if this comes down to a low time to execute.
Well, room clear now as an Echo drone has been placed inside of the kitchen area. I don't know if or dining area, excuse me. I don't know if Slash exactly saw that, but that's a freebie. If so, I think he did, because we just saw somebody shoot through the wall. But actually, no, still there. So Crazy gonna be able to keep one of his pieces of utility. That was very scary there for just a second, giving up one of those extremely crucial drones so early on.
Other one's going to be set up to deny the default plant that most teams end up going for. So once again, that's that late round issue that I was talking about before. Slash's drone just running by one of Crazy's yokais there, so if it rolls back, it might be able to catch that, but at the same time, Creators could just catch the drone itself here, and he kind of lost the scent, so not too much of a reason for him to continue pursuing that, other than getting the general area of where it might have gone. Foxay will start to enter the building here now, too, through Laundry, working his way in, looking to clear out the kitchen area. And thankfully for him, he's not going to find too much resistance in this department, as Tempo have chosen not to defend it much. Most of their defense is focused immediately upstairs or on the Astro stairs, or of course on the extended room in the case of Creators here, over towards top red.
Well, it's going to be a master take for Oxygen, but Tempo's good for it. You can see most of their utility is set up to be taken from this side. They have the shield set up to watch split. There's a lot of positive things here for Tempo Storm to lean on to make it difficult for Oxygen to win this round, but we've seen him do it before. We'll have to see if they can possibly do it again. Shifted those Echo drones back to site as well to be able to help with some of that intel game. Lots of intel here for Slashlight, but he ends up getting taken down by Mark. Mark just swings Master Door from Concrete, gets a kill, and then dips right into Laundry. He's gone with the win, folks. Jarvis is going to get one as well, and now Oxygen don't really have anything to go with. It's a 3 versus 5, and they have to try and collapse.
I think Slash initially had support so that he would be safe to get on drone there, but if it was Bio, and I don't know if it was him, it looks like he went outside and got on drone himself, and that allowed for the swing to happen from Mark, more than likely through the Master Door, because I knew a player was positioned on that earlier on in the round. Either way, Tempo's going to continue to push their advantage even further here, as yet another kill is picked up by them. Bio takes some heat from below here, and it's going to get even hotter as, unfortunately, the shots ring through the Maverick hole there. It's going to take him into a down state, leaving really only Foxay in this fight. There's not much of a hope of getting Bio back into it right now. Foxay's going to have to bring out a miracle, and unfortunately, with only 5 seconds, it's just not going to happen. This should be a lead to Tempo, and indeed, it will be the case at 5-4.
Great round there by Tempo Storm, slowing down Oxygen once again. As we said before, the entire site was set up for this take. You guys can see from the way that they're placing their shields, you know, ADSs, yada yada yada, that they wanted Oxygen to take from the Master side, and it was a very nice defense that they had. But it was really those initial picks, and some picks that shouldn't even happen, just like we were talking about. We're trying to figure out how in the hell Mark swings a door that you shouldn't be able to swing, gets a kill, and then just leaves. He just left. That's not supposed to happen, and it sure as hell did. So for Oxygen, I don't really know what to say. I assume that somebody was going to be watching the Concrete Door, and I think that you're right. And what your guesstimation was there, John, I think that Bio fell off the door to go drone himself and get some more intel on the site, because they were definitely in need of it, right? But
that's the only part of that picture that I'm like not 100% on, because I'm other than that, I'm like 90% sure it was Mark who was on that door, like you know, a good 20 or 30 seconds before even Slash gets on his drone, and then eventually just had the opportunity to swing when whoever was with Slash, if there was someone, decided to go away.
Yeah, either way, Mark, that was the play of the century right there, at least for Villa. That's what needed to happen. You won your team the entire round. They really didn't have anything to stand on after that. You killed one of the most important people on the entire map.
All right, guys, well, into another round. Tempo now getting closer to triggering that map 3 on Cafe, which is going to be very interesting to see how they play. That one, I know you were very excited to get into that one, Stokes, if we ended up going the distance, and that's starting to become more and more of a possibility here, so we shall see. Oxygen has got to come together strong here, try and rally themselves for the next 3 rounds if they want to end this in regulation.
Yeah, well, In other news, I'm really sorry that you just lost to the Dallas Stars. So that
Dude. They had a 2-0 lead as well. That was the worst part. Oh my god. That was the same way they got eliminated last
man.
year. I'm so upset right now. I just wanted to vent for a second. But anyway, let's get
I'm
back
laughing
to
straight to the bank with this as a Blackhawks
They literally
fan,
lost
man.
the Sharks the same way last year, man. I can't believe
I had you guys
Anyway.
pegged as the winners, man. I really did. I thought you were going to take it all,
Anyway.
and then Dallas.
That's a different sport.
Yeah, that's a different thing. That's hockey. That's Jesse talk. Apologies for that. And anyways, back to things that actually matter, like Rainbow Six Siege and the fact that Tempo is ahead of Oxygen right now, 5-4 inside of round 10. Drones now out for Oxygen is they're going for the master side take. We still have some presence over on Statue, but that's exactly what you need. Slash's job here is to just play around the Statue balcony as well as the window and make sure that Tempo can't rotate through there and hold down steady to contest the bus door or really rotate anywhere around that area to begin with. So plays a drone inside of there, hangs out for the time being while Oxygen gets the rest of the work done on the other end of the map.
I'm going to do a little bit of drone work over towards the 90 angle here, trying to see if there is an active defense from Tempo. Won't find much, other than little bits of utility, so just has to be careful of potentially Jarvis or Dream playing on the angle by the doorway once again. Other than that, though, Bio's going to be able to move in, have himself some free reign. He does have to pull back, though, as it looks like there was a Nitro, so I don't know if it was set in his direction, but from the panicked run we saw from him, might have been the case.
Well, slow and steady here, as we've expected. Clear's been going well for Oxygen. They've worked their way up to red here. They still need 90 control, though, and to get some hard destruction going on. It seems that Slash, obviously still sitting over at Statue. I don't know exactly what they're going to want to use those Selma charges for. If this could possibly be a vault door plant or what have you, we'll have to wait and see. But they have the utility in the proper spots, but that's going to be a big problem now as Vertical's been taken out. That's one of the entry fraggers. Currently on equal footing with his KDA. So now Tempo just has to wait and see exactly how Oxygen responds to this. They've done the dirty work. They've gotten the initial kill. Now it's all down to that patience once again.
37 seconds remaining here. Slash, he had an angle there for a second, it looks like, but not going to end up being the case. That or he was just taking out the barricade. Anyway, looking like it lined up for a second there. Bio's going to start to move forward, get himself that much closer to the study door. You have some pings trying to work their way in there as they are trying to get access to the opening on this wall, but it seems there's something on the other side interfering with it. Another swing from Bio with the diffuser too, so Tempo now knows that they've dropped that. Jarvis picks up the next kill as Foxy goes down, and things for Oxygen continue to get worse and worse and worse here, unfortunately. Dream with one more on the counter. It's a flawless round for Tempo as they are now that much closer to the map 3.
Just a beautiful, beautiful round there from Tempo Storm. And the biggest thing is how they dealt with statuary there. You guys can see the amount of lines of sight that they had once they, that soft wall eventually got full on destroyed. There was just so many rounds that passed through that thing. It was just tarnished, right? So once you were able to actually see exactly the angles that they were holding, there was just so many areas for Tempo to actually combat back towards Oxygen when they were trying to take that site, that there was really no way that Oxygen was going to get through that in such a low timer as well. They weren't able to get the hard destruction done like they wanted to. That was some really good utility usage there from Tempo Storm with that mute jammer being placed on that single reinforcement. It really seemed as though that single reinforcement was the whole thing that stopped Oxygen from doing anything that they wanted to do. We saw the Maverick step up, try and get rid of that utility with a frag grenade, but just nothing at all could possibly stop Tempo from winning that round. So now we're on to map point, possible map 3 here if Tempo can actually pick up their last round, but that's the big question. Can Oxygen stop them? Can they link two of these offenses together?
It's the slow bleed of their player count that happens in the mid round is probably the biggest thing coming against them right now, because too many rounds in a row now we've looked at Oxygen just trying to execute with like one or two players remaining against 4 or 5 of the other team. You just talked about this as well, but Oxygen constantly losing players to either the roam clear or trying to set up utility. It's become a real issue for them here on this map here, and it's one of the main reasons why Tempo is getting themselves in such good positions to shut down the rounds.
I don't know why things are so damn risky either. That's the thing for me so far. I haven't been able to really see where the big kills have been happening. You know what I mean? To really be able to dictate. Oh, okay, so this is what's happening. You know, so. For right now, it just seems that Oxygen, when they are, getting adjusted to what they need to be doing at that certain marker inside of the round, they're losing people as they do so. I think that's the main thing. When they're in that transition phase, somebody just oversteps a little bit too far and Tempo's there lying in wait.
Well, let's see if they can avoid that issue this time. They are going to be going up against the kitchen defense once again from Tempo as they'll look to shut it down here. Tempo have had some very convincing rounds on these sites. So it's not looking good for Oxygen, but at the same time, Oxygen, very high-level team, and definitely has some tricks up their sleeve if they want to try and use them here. Just burning out one of the ADSs, of course, by chucking those flashbangs in, as you'll hear the noise from the ADS itself eating them. Foxe in a very delicate spot. He's going to call for some help from his teammate around the corner, and thankfully that allows for him to rotate towards safer ground. But nonetheless, Mark gets away with that and knocks off a good 60 or so HP from Foxe.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of those things that like you and I have been touching on a little bit is like, obviously Fox is trying to get this initial kill here, but he's taking quite a bit of damage because Tempo's ready for them to be around this bench slash, wolf area here at the top of red stairs. So they hold a nice cross. He has to play that center piece of concrete so that he doesn't get lit up, but he still takes quite a bit of damage, doesn't get killed, but that damage means that his gunfights are not going to be the same for the rest of the map. And there's Tempo leaving sight, well, not sighted exactly, leaving the upstairs area for free and backing off. Oxygen now either needs to drone this out or get some presence in there as they work their way closer and closer. Drone now in, have full top control, but only a minute and 10 seconds left. Great roam here from Tempo Storm.
He said a little over a minute remaining here for OXG. They're being a lot more cautious this time. That I can tell you for certain, well, at least up until that point. Creators is going to be able to get away with one on Laxing. I believe closer towards Astro Stairs is where that goes down. Foxe still at under 50, so he can't really get aggressive here right now. Dream and a few of the other players already with like pre-placed C4s as well. They're getting ready for the XU. They know it's going to have to come soon here, just out of desperation, since Oxygen is not really in a great position to try and force the issue, but they also don't really have the luxury of time at this point either. They're trying to set themselves up. Vert rotating down now, but he also still has Jarvis to watch out for on the basement stairs immediately to his left. That swing should come any moment. And on top of that, oh, maybe they weren't ready for it. I'd say, never mind, I'm going to take everything back. Mark just takes the fight on Vert. I don't even know if he was aware that Vert was there, but wins the fight anyway. Comes out on top of that one, yes, with low HP. He's gotten the job done. Already knows the position of one other player from Oxygen that's going to be trying to push in. Oxygen now to try and come back from a 3v5 here. Foxe with a good find. That's a free opening against Dream, and at least a start. But are they going to be able to get the diffuser in sight in time?
Oh man, the one-way smoke. I didn't think that we were going to see something like that, but that's what we're going to see. Some cross-game things going on. Diffuser now down as Tempo Storm's all over it. Slash somehow makes it out. I don't even know how the hell that happened, but he's still alive. He has a pistol in his hand. This is actually clutchable. Can he possibly win it? He dips back and forth, gets down into the one. Oh no, it's all up to Crazy, but he can't win it. Oh my! Crazy literally has 1 HP, folks. Any gun kills him right now. He's less than 25 and he wins that round. Slash should have never had a chance in hell. That was insanity. I don't even know how that happened, but Tempo won and we're going to Cafe.
So close for Slash to clutch that one out and try to bring it to OT, but he's just an inch or so away, and unfortunately is not able to get the damage necessary in order to close that one out. So Tempo do indeed have some game to show.